We're like diamonds in the sky. I can't humanize these Dagestanis, man. They're superhuman. That's what they are, dude. There's no human in there. There's no dog. There's no going up against the odds, man. They just win. That's what they do. And that's what Makhachev did, brother. That's what Makhachev did. When the going got tough, Makhachev got tougher. You gotta respect it, man. Dude was leaking bad in the 4th round. And he pushed against that poor, one-hipped man, Dustin Poirier. He pushed, and Dash choked Poirier out cold. And Makhachev even said in the press conference, Makhachev said, if you don't tap, you go to sleep too, brother. He tapped and went to sleep. The ultimate humiliation. But was I hoping Poirier made it to a decision for a moral victory? That's all I was hoping for, really. There was a moment in this fight, though, and even Makhachev fans got to admit this as well, where all of a sudden it started looking like Makhachev was about to fold. You got to admit, even Makhachev fans had to have felt that energy when Poirier westernly walked him when Poirier western hemispherically walked him down in the 3rd round and screamed in his face. These Dagestani guys ain't never doing none of that. Okay? Walked him down, got back up from the takedown, reversed it like JDM against Gilbert Burns, got back up, kicked off the cage, and started screaming at Makhachev. I could literally hear Rihanna in my head. You know what I mean? You're a shooting star, I see. It was building in the background of my head when I saw Poirier walking towards him. Get down. Dun, dun. I was waiting for any music to start kicking in. They should have just started playing it on the speakers in the arena in round 4 when Poirier started having a moment. And let me tell you this, man. Makhachev pushed through Staff. Maybe it was Staff, maybe it wasn't. I'm dripping from somewhere. Maybe it was Staff, maybe it wasn't. But we'll never really know. I like to think it wasn't Staff and everyone overreacted. No, I'm joking though. Makhachev pushed through, potential Staff. And let's be real here, man. Makhachev did not get plan A. In round 1, he did. In round 1, he got plan A. What other rounds did he get? I mean, there was many other rounds where he got plan A. There was even a moment in round 3 where he was on top for a large majority of the round. And, you know, he always had his moments in his priority position of being on the ground with Dustin Poirier. But let's just call it what it is. Even though I wanted Poirier to win and I wanted the moment to happen, Makhachev was looking, I've been saying this for a long time and I even said it before the fight. Quit sleeping on Makhachev's stand-up, dude. This ain't a one-dimensional fighter. This is a well-rounded fighter and he proved that in today's fight. He proved it. I know I was coping hard on the stream, but it kind of makes it funnier that way. But he proved it tonight, man. I wouldn't say wicked striking, but it held up. And he was doing good in moments. Like round 1, he actually cracked Poirier with some big shots. And then Poirier was like, ugh, and then all of a sudden the takedown happens immediately. And I'm literally like, guys, it's over. I literally said that on my stream. Makhachev had cracked Poirier on the feet. Got the takedown immediately in round 1 dry. And I thought, guys, it's been fun. But he ain't shining bright tonight, okay? This is over. And Poirier proved me wrong, dude. His survivability was A1. Alexander Romanov. Learn from this man. When Poirier was in a bad position with his back taken, what did he do? He did not lift his chin up in the air, Romanov, and let someone rear naked choke him. No, he didn't. He waited till the 5th to get choked, okay? He stuck it out in round 1, and I was very happy for him. And also in round 1, I don't know how it happened and how Makhachev got cut over the eyelid. One thing you've got to say about Makhachev, even though he's sensational fighter, well-rounded, good everywhere, dude marks up really easily and he's very easy to cut. You land a good shot on him, his eyes swollen up. So there's definitely some weakness to him. Like his durability isn't like you can hit Habib with anything and he's not going to look like he's got a scratch on him. You know what I mean? Makhachev gets hit with a good shot, you're going to see the damage on him. He's one of them like types of fighters that just has that I don't know, the skin that marks up easier, I guess. But this was a crazy fight. There were moments where you're like, hold on, is Poirier doing this right now? Respect to Poirier, man. Listen, I know that, you know, I'm seeing it everywhere. Makhachev, he even beat him in the striking. And listen, don't get me wrong. Dude, Poirier was up against it here, man. I know that a lot of Makhachev fans are being like, and he did it at his own game. Like, that should not have been that close for Makhachev. Poirier over-delivered. You have to admit. Makhachev should have had an easier time there. This was Poirier. The Benoit fight, I know a lot of people were saying, dude, lol, who picks Benoit? But Benoit was one-way trafficking him for a vast majority of that fight. Vast majority until the very end, of course, where he got slept. I get it. But this was supposed to be a walkover for Makhachev. That's what the odds suggested. That's what people suggested in the build-up. That's what Makhachev fans were suggesting. And it was not. And that's very important to note, man. There were so many moments in this fight where I was so happy for Poirier doing it. You know what I mean? Round 2, he had moments. I thought he lost round 2 because I tell you what, you know, some people had it 2-2 going into the 5th. One judge had it 2-2 going into the 5th. I had it 3-1 Makhachev going into the 5th. I thought Poirier needed a finish to win, or a draw to get a draw, or a 10-8, sorry, to get a draw. And I gave him round 4. But round 5, Makhachev was doing his thing, and Poirier just, you know, he stuffed the takedowns, and he was just like, God, man, I ain't got it. I ain't got left. You know what I mean? Makhachev was kneeing him in the face. I have Poirier's chin. Like, I don't understand how chins work in MMA. I guess it's just seeing it coming or not is the main attribute. So Vettori must have the best peripheral vision we've ever seen in the sport. Okay? I know that sometimes it's just a genetic good chin. But Poirier was eating knees. No one talks about this. The knees to the face that Makhachev was landing on Poirier in this fight are KO knees to the face. Tie clinch, locked up, bang. You could see Poirier's head go poof, snap back from a knee hitting him in the face. And Makhachev hit him like twice once, where he kneed him once and then did it again, right on Poirier's chin. And Poirier just gets out of it and goes, yeah, bring it. And then Makhachev shoots and we're up against the cage again. Great striking from Makhachev. I do say he didn't look good on the striking. Neither did Poirier, but they were at a very high pace of grappling in that fight. Makhachev looked like he lost steam in his punches after round 2. Poirier didn't, but he looked like he could only muster up steam-having punches for about like 4 combinations a round. But there was a moment in round 4 where he sliced Makhachev open with something bad, and Makhachev was leaking so badly in that round. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh my God, he has been sliced open so badly on the face here. And then Poirier starts body punching him up against the cage. Dude, it was such a moment where you're like, oh my God, Poirier's going to pull this off. The guy with one hip is stuffing takedowns against Makhachev here. The guy who has had a hip replacement is somehow doing okay counter-grappling wise against Islam Makhachev. Confusion erupted in my brain. Confusion, denial. This isn't happening. There's no way it's happening. Let me sing more Rihanna to see if it's real. It is. Poirier's pushing forward, screaming at him. Another takedown from Makhachev, resets everything. And then once Makhachev had success in a round with a takedown, it was just like, now he can go away on the feet as well. Now he can look for knees in the clinch. Now he can look for punches at range. He weren't being too offensive on the feet, very counteractive. But he did good in the striking, man. You can't deny it. Even in round 5, early, and even in round 4 in some moments as well, he would crack Poirier on the feet. And you were like, damn, watch out now, Poirier. Makhachev's striking is still looking good here. That's where he's better than Khabib. Now, I think we may have answered the question, is grappling's not quite as good as Khabib's? Okay? But then again, Khabib never fought a guy with great takedown defense. But then again, he also fought Poirier, the same guy. So, all good. His grappling's not quite as good as Khabib's. You know what I mean? But his striking is night and day better. Like, he can hang on the feet. If it's a pure striking match, it's wraps. But with the takedowns mixed in, this guy, if he gets one around, or even an attempt around, having that in your head, he'll hang with you on the feet. However, this does need to be mentioned. Crazy fight, really fun to watch. When Poirier kicked out of that takedown and stood up and screamed in Makhachev's face, and Theo Von pops up in the background, I was like, this is it. This is the moment where he's going to pull it off. Because I thought Makhachev was going to smoke him in the first round because Poirier he's never done well against grapplers. He has one hip. I've been saying that in the whole build-up. This dude's got one hip, and nobody mentions it. He literally pulled out of the Nate Diaz fight for hip surgery to have, like, bone cartilage put into his hip joint instead of what was currently there. Like, this guy's one-hipped doing what he's doing. So it was amazing to watch. And I will say this. I know a lot of people are saying Makhachev this, Makhachev that. They would have said it regardless of the result. But they're saying it a lot now because they know people are going to be bigging up Poirier, so they're getting in there first. Like, and on the feet as well, is like one of the top comments I saw. So they're kind of coping, kind of not. It was a tougher fight than it should have been for Makhachev. But that dude ain't safe no more. I don't want to see no 5-1 favorite on Makhachev. Even Makhachev fans, you have to admit that. This dude ain't no 5-1 favorite no more. This dude ain't no 4-1 favorite over anyone that he's fighting next, if they're a legitimate contender. If they're an Armand Sarukian, or if they're an Edwards up at 170. Bilal Muhammad, maybe he just smokes him. Bilal's shit. If he somehow gets the belt, alhamdulillah, I'll become Muslim because it's clearly the right thing. Here we go. But I'm telling you right now, if anyone with better or equal to the takedown defense of Poirier, larger than him, fights Makhachev, might take him. I might take him. I really might, because there are opportunities there. And I know I can't say any criticism, but you have to criticize the performance from Makhachev. There were openings. And Poirier, he didn't deserve a title shot in the first place. I know in hindsight, I can say that now, but this dude was not a deserving number one contender. That was Armand Sarukian, but what do you know? All of a sudden, Makhachev really needs to fight in Newark, New Jersey, guys. Armand, are you ready on 5 weeks' notice after fighting Oliveira for 3 rounds? You're not. Oh well, Poirier for the money fight. So it does seem a bit weird. I'd love to see the Armand fight. I don't want to see him move up to 170 yet. I want to see the Armand fight first. I want to see what Armand's got for him. Because Armand's really good. And he's tough. And he's strong. And I'd say he's got better grappling defense than Poirier does. And he's got crispy hands and striking as well. And his conditioning is really good. So I'd love to see Armand Sarukian versus Islam Makhachev. Because let's not forget, when Armand gave him a tough fight in the first place, I picked Armand to beat him. And he gave Makhachev a hell of a fight in the first place when he was a baby. And he took it on 2 weeks' notice. Did I pick him, or did I say if he had a full camp, I would have picked him? I can't remember, but I think I said if he had a full camp, I would have picked him. I'm not sure, but I definitely mentioned the idea of picking him in that first Makhachev fight because he has got the style to do it. Just a little short, and I worry about those knees in a clinch when he does that. But Poirier's not that tall. You know what I mean? He's not that tall. Armand's not far off of him. I'd love to see a no hip replacement having lightweight fight Makhachev as a defense of Makhachev's belt. And that's crazy to ask for. But I'd love to see it before he moves up to 170. A lightweight who's earned the shot at lightweight, who has more than one hip versus Makhachev at lightweight for his belt. I know it sounds crazy. To want that before he moves up to 170. I know it sounds crazy to want him to defend against a rightful lightweight contender with 1 or 2 hips. Or 1 extra hip than Poirier. I know, but I want it. I want the Armand fight. And you know what? We got the time to do it now. We've got Edwards versus Muhammad happening in July. There's a lot of contenders at welterweight that they could be used for title shots. I know the JDM Shavkat situation's kind of messed it up because that should have been happening in August. But October, I believe there's an Abu Dhabi event. And is this not the perfect way to keep Makhachev active? Maybe he doesn't want to be active. He did take some damage. I get it. He might want some time off. But who knows, man? Maybe he heals up from those cuts and he thinks, Abu Dhabi, October 26th, nearly 5 months away. Wouldn't be that far-fetched to ask for that kind of turnaround. I don't think he needs 6 months off. So this is just under 5 months off. UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi, Etihad Arena. What other fight are you putting on there? You can't seriously tell me that you're actually delaying Pereira until October so Ankalaev can fight him in Abu Dhabi. You're not doing that for a contender, because then I'll get real suspicious of what's going on. Okay? Meldonium. Either way. I think Makhachev should be on that card. But I want to see him versus Armand, because you can't tell me this guy is a huge favorite now against the other people. People really underrated Poirier going in, saying he's going to get destroyed, he's nervous. Round 1 Makhachev was the grand consensus take. But now Poirier looked good. All of a sudden, this Poirier's different, but Makhachev's that next level. Keep the same energy, dude. Poirier has been that guy. The second place. I'd love to see a new guy challenge Makhachev. At lightweight, I'd love to see Gamrot challenge him. I think Makhachev would smoke him on the feet and knee him in the face and put him away. I want to see these challenges, though. Poirier's not a grappler. He's not good at it. You know what I mean? He really isn't. He spent a whole round on bottom against Chandler, for fuck's sake. He's not a real great grappler. I'd love to see someone actually chain grapple with Makhachev for a while. Arman did it the first fight. With his new and improved striking, I'd love to see that mixed in. Gamrot, I don't know, but he's got a great gas tank, great push. He's a big dude for the division as well. Something I noticed out there is how much bigger Makhachev was than Poirier. Head shape-wise as well, mainly. It kind of gave away a bit more of an illusion of size. But, yeah, really looking forward to it. And I'm telling you, at welterweight, I think this is better for Makhachev's career that he kind of got pasted a bit in round 4. I really do. I think, although he dominated the majority of the fight, the fact that there was moments of, hang on, it just means that the next fights of Makhachev's career are going to be way more entertaining in the build-up, because now it's not like you can say Makhachev by whatever he wants. You can't use that line anymore. This was the fight where if Makhachev is going to win a fight by whatever he wants, this was the one for it to happen. And it didn't happen. So you can't say that anymore. I don't think you can see him go up to welterweight and go Makhachev by whatever he wants, unless he fights Bilal, maybe. But I don't think you can. I don't think, because if you give me Poirier with better conditioning, younger, more in his prime version of Poirier, with 2 hips that could be a welter, like, if someone out there is larger than Poirier, more in their prime, and has equal or similar takedown defense, what's to say they don't beat Makhachev? So this is way more interesting for Makhachev's career moving forward. I hope he don't dip like Khabib and just bitch out. I hope he continues this, because I want to see a Dagestani fighter limit test. That's what we need. That's what all fighters do. They get to the top, they limit test. They don't get to the top and go, oh shit, Oliveira next, he's a grappler. See you guys. They don't do that. I want to see that. So those are the fights I want to see. For Poirier, Volk called him out. And I hear that they want to do the BMF belt between Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway. So, Volk's wanting it. So maybe they do that. Maybe they entice Poirier one more time with the McGregor quadrilogy to try and get McGregor one over on him. Who knows? But if Poirier retired tonight, he gave it all he's got and he had a great account of himself. But Makhachev ain't just a grappler, bruh. And I tried saying that in the build-up, because I even tweeted before, don't be surprised if Makhachev knocks this guy out on the feet, because he can. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle Pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye.